Texas man has been arrested and charged with capital murder, accused of shooting a sheriff's deputy in the back. California State University Northridge has banned smoking and vaping on campus, but some students are still lighting up. The fall semester has begun at CSUN, and many students say they're having trouble simply finding a place to park.
This is Valley View News.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Harry Abelson.
And I'm Sarah Vong.
Since 2014, Cal State Northridge officials have been pushing for a smoke-free campus. In August, those advocates got their wish. Valley View News reporter WAHID LODIN says even though there is a ban, smoking is still a problem.
CSUN's new smoking ban applies to all forms of smoking, including vapes and cigarettes. Kevin Betzayed says the ban has become a hindrance.
Not everyone smokes, which I get, but it just kind of isolates the people who do smoke.
However, even though the policy is in effect, students continue to smoke and litter their cigarette butts. With the removal of ashtrays, students are leaving cigarettes near more hazardous areas, such as trash cans and recycling bins. Daniel Shin is a former smoker. He says if he still smoked, the ban wouldn't bother him too much.
I probably would ignore the ban, and I'd probably just find more secluded places to smoke.
With the ban being new, it's still unclear how campus police will enforce it. Captain Alfredo Fernandez says enforcement isn't the main goal of the smoking ban. It's a last resort.
You've ignored the signage, you've ignored the people that have come to you and asked you, not to smoke because it's a smoke-free campus, or at least advised you of that information. Then the police officer is going to come and talk to you, and he will take your information down and he will give you a warning, or she will give you a warning. After that, that's when you're most likely going to see a citation. So you kind of see there's a lot of steps that are involved before you actually see enforcement.
With cigarette butts still being littered across campus, it's evident that students either don't fully understand the smoking ban or don't understand the consequences it has on them being a student. In Northridge, this is WAHID LODIN for Valley View News.
California State University Northridge has begun its fall semester, and with the start of every new school year comes many problems involving parking and traffic. Valley View News reporter Nick Poppins finds out why it's so difficult to find a spot.
These are just a few of the cars filled with frustrated students looking for parking at California State University Northridge. Around the beginning of every fall semester, people going to CSUN can look forward to lines of cars, packed parking lots, and these lovely signs that are sure to brighten everyone's morning. Here at CSUN, there are roughly 7,000 to 10,000 parking spots throughout campus. That makes things difficult considering that Northridge is welcoming 42,000 students this fall semester. Some say 8,000 spots are enough to handle the amount of cars that come day to day. But others, like civil engineering major Andrew Slusser, believe that parking is still a major hassle.
A lot of it's just getting into the structure and waiting through the line of just trying to get up while everyone else is jostling to get a spot. I mean, you have to, be willing to come in here, 45 minutes early.
And even so, arriving early to park might still be a little too late. Here's what it looks like on Darby Avenue at around 10:30 in the morning. This is a completely full parking structure that was blocked off by police cones to prevent more students from getting in. But even with these gridlock nightmares, graduate student Anashe Garabigi hadn't really experienced any problems.
It's too crazy the first couple weeks, but after that, I haven't really had that much of a struggle.
I decided to get behind the wheel of my car to see how long it would take for me to find a spot at Cal State Northridge. So after driving around CSUN, going to about 3 different lots, I came across this spot here. About 35 minutes later. The Department of Parking and Transportation on campus couldn't be reached for comment, but a CSU police officer who asked not to be on camera mentioned that much of the congestion has to do with the new students coming to CSUN, who don't yet really know their way around. He also says over the past few years assisting traffic, it only seems to get worse each fall. So it looks like CSUN students might need to wait a little longer to find that open parking spot. In Northridge, Nick Popham, Valley View News.
A Texas man faces a capital murder charge in the shooting of a sheriff deputy. District Attorney Devon Anderson says the alleged gunman shot Texas Deputy Darren Goforth 15 times at close range, firing the entire clip of his .40 caliber pistol. The courtroom was filled with police as Anderson described video surveillance footage of Goforth's killing. A man identified as Shannon Miles is seen on video approaching Goforth from behind while the officer refueled his car at a gas station. The shooter fired his gun at the back of Goforth's head. The shooter then stood over his body and continued firing. Authorities say they found a pistol at Miles's house. Anderson said it was the murder weapon. Authorities are continuing to look for a motive in the shooting.
President Obama has renamed the tallest mountain in North America. The 20,000-foot tall peak will be changed from Mount McKinley to Denali. That's its original Native American name, which means the Great One. The White House says the name change will recognize the sacred status of Denali to generations of Alaska Natives. He also planned to use this trip to talk about the dangers of climate change.
The Los Angeles Police Department has officially begun to roll out its body camera policy. Cameras have been distributed to more than 7,000 officers across the district. This policy is part of a pilot program to help protect the rights of both police officers and Los Angeles residents. LAPD officials say that this implementation is a big step towards improving relations with officers.
Cal State Northridge students have a new way of relaxing and dealing with stress on campus this semester. It's called the Oasis Wellness Center.
Valley View News reporter Ayo Adalaja has more in this interview from Studio B.
Joining us today is Director of the Student Recreation Center, Jimmy Francis. Thanks for being here.
No problem.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
Alrighty, so why do we need the Oasis Center?
Well, the Oasis Wellness Center kind of originated from the challenge that the students were having with sleep difficulties and stress here on campus. So every 2 years we do a assessment. It's called a National College Health Assessment. And the data has shown that CSUN students are struggling with those two things above national averages. So a group of people came together to think about different ways we could help students tackle those challenges.
We have over 40,000 students on campus. How many students can take part in this and how do they go about it?
Yeah, I guess we're in our, it would be I think the second week of operation. So we're seeing between 600 to 800 students a day. And the center itself, it can hold roughly about 100 people inside and equally the same on the outside. So we're seeing that from a participation standpoint. We're averaging around 75 nap reservations per day. So we have energy pods that students can take a power nap in, and so we're doing about 75 of those a day.
Can students find a whole variety of other places on campus to get relaxation?
Yeah, I think for students that have been on campus for a while, they've come to know where some places are, maybe over by the Orange Grove Bistro to be able to relax and disconnect. Perhaps finding some shade underneath a tree. Really, this spot, the Wellness Center, was intentionally designed to make it feel like you're getting away from the hustle of campus. So yes, there are a number of places around campus to probably relax, but hopefully we've created one of the best.
Is this the kind of thing that can actually help students in their academic life other than just relaxing?
Yeah, so one of the things that we plan to do is we're going to study we're going to look at who's coming, which students are coming, how often they're coming, and then work with institutional research to also look at GPA. So although we can't say that now, but we've started collecting some data right from the very beginning to allow us to look into that in the future. We do know that the more students get involved on campus, the more they take part in things outside the classroom, typically the more likely they are to persist and hopefully graduate.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us with this interview. Back to you.
A Los Angeles area walk to end Alzheimer's raised over $200,000 for research. Valley View News reporter Maria Cartaya says the event was more successful than expected.
The Walk to End Alzheimer's is an event to raise funds for Alzheimer's care and research. Some of the participants say this disease has affected many families.
Alzheimer's is very serious, and especially if you work within a community with the people, you can see how a lot of people, one day they remember you, the next day they don't. It's very serious.
This event is held annually in more than 500 communities, and this time it was held in the San Gabriel Valley.
One step forward is better than one step back, So events like this sort of hit close to home because I love my grandfather, but I'm really happy to see that our community all come together and participate in stuff like this.
Volunteers showed up early to help arrange the event that took place at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. More than 1,000 people have showed up when only 500 were expected, and the event has already raised more than double the amount of money that they anticipated. Helpers rang a purple bell every time a person donated $500 or more. One of the main goals of this walk is to get people to be more involved and to learn more information about Alzheimer's disease.
If someone does not know someone with Alzheimer's disease, they will. And the most important thing is to recognize symptoms, to get a good thorough diagnosis, and link into programs and services early.
The Walk to End Alzheimer's will happen again next year with the hope to raise more money and end this disease. In Pasadena, Maria Cartaya, Valley View News.
San Diego beaches have reopened after 2 shark sightings over last weekend. A kayaker who was fishing off the La Jolla coast filmed a hammerhead shark that followed him while he paddled to shore. A San Diego fire and rescue official says the shark was seen again moving towards a swimmer before returning to deeper water. The 1.5-mile stretch between La Jolla Cove to Scripps Pier remained opened, but people were advised of the shark sightings.
China is reportedly continuing its crackdown on what it considers misuse of the internet. Nearly 200 people in China have been punished on charges they spread online rumors about the country's stock market. The Chinese have tried various ways to clamp down on internet speech. They broadened the definition of a charge called picking quarrels and provoking trouble.
The Islamic State has damaged another temple in Palmyra, Syria. Only a few pillars remain at the Temple of Bel from an ISIS explosion. The Temple of Bel remained intact for nearly 2,000 years until now. Syrian officials say they are looking into the situation to find out exactly who is responsible. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights will also look into the case with its office in the United Kingdom. Syrian officials say the location was the most important temple in Syria.
A class action lawsuit has been filed against 10 automakers, alleging their keyless entries caused a number of deaths and injuries. Currently, 13 deaths have been reported. The suit claims that once drivers turn off their vehicle with the key fob, the car apparently remains running. The injuries and deaths are reportedly caused by people inhaling carbon monoxide. The lawsuit says automakers knew about the defect but continued marketing the car as safe. Complaints have been reported since 2009.
More states are encouraging parents to vaccinate their children in order to prevent statewide outbreaks. Parents are able to receive exemptions from vaccinations for religious and philosophical reasons. Researchers say eliminating exemptions can improve vaccination rates and reduce disease.
Have you ever come home to chewed up clothes and furniture? Anyone with a family pet knows their bad behavior can really test our patience. But there's a man who calls himself a dog psychologist who says he can fix dog misbehavior without saying a word. Valley View News reporter Amy Martinez shows us how.
Many pet owners know the embarrassment that comes with having a dog that barks at anyone who enters the home and is hesitant to be around your friends during a visit. Correcting this is David Coder's specialty.
I like to say dog trainers teach dogs to do things, and a behaviorist teaches humans how to get their dogs to not do things. So really what I do is I work with my clients to help them understand how to communicate with their dog better, make sure the dog respects them, and show them how to get their dog to calm down.
It's hard not to love our cute furry friends, but Coder says it's a lack of respect that prevents humans and dogs to have a problem-free relationship.
A lot of people, they don't have the rules and structure for the puppy, and what is cute when it's a puppy isn't quite so cute when the dog's full grown. So really, just like raising children, having the right rules, boundaries, and structure can help a child grow and excel by putting it in a position to succeed. I want to put a puppy in a position to succeed by putting it in a situation where it knows what it's allowed to do and what it's not allowed to do.
It's important to communicate using body language rather than verbal language, as this is how dogs communicate with each other. This is the dog psychology being put into play. Coder regularly holds free workshops to share some of his knowledge with pet owners who have dogs with specific problems like biting, aggression, and excessive barking.
Yeah, I now know that I have to calm him down before taking him for a walk so he won't be so pushy anymore.
By minimizing aggression, dog owners will feel more confident to be out with their pets, as attacks are now a part of the past. After their behavioral training, dogs can be rewarded with longer walks and more frequent trips to dog parks. One of the biggest benefits from hiring a dog behaviorist like David is that he works to address all dog behavior issues, and he even writes a detailed blog post for the public to benefit from as well. In Culver City, Amy Martinez, Valley View News.
When we come back, we'll take a look at the latest sports news.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Now here's Jordan Saucedo with the latest news in sports.
Chicago's Cub ace Jake Arrieta has thrown his first career no-hitter. It happened against the Dodgers for the 2-0 win in the final game of the series. In the top of the first inning, Arrieta got all the support he needed from rookie third baseman Chris Bryant, who hit a 2-run shot off Alex Wood, his 21st of the season. Arrieta went on to strike out some of the top Dodger hitters like infielder Jimmy Rollins, lefty outfielder Andre Ethier, and rookie Jock Peterson. Arrieta struck out the side in the 9th inning, giving him a season high of 12 strikeouts for the game. Arrieta finished the month of August with a perfect 6-0 record and a .43 ERA. He is the first Cubs pitcher to throw a no-hitter since Carlos Zambrano in 2008. Tom Brady and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell will have to wait for a settlement in the Deflategate case. The NFL suspended Brady after the Patriots used underinflated footballs in a playoff game earlier this year. Brady has denied involvement. The NFL reportedly wants Brady to acknowledge some responsibility. Judge Richard Berman said he will make a ruling by the deadline of September 4th. Soccer player Anthony Marshall has found a new home at Manchester United. BBC Sports says Marshall flew to Manchester to sign with his new club, even though he was still practicing with the French national team. The Red Devils signed the former FS Monaco striker to a contract worth nearly $56 million. This is the most recent transfer pickup by the Man U this season. Marshall is only 19 years old. MLB history has been made with the first woman to broadcast a game for ESPN. Jessica Mendoza filled in for Aaron Boone and joined play-by-play man Dave O'Brien and Dallas Braden on Monday night. Mendoza is not new to television or the game. She helped the U.S. women's softball team win a gold medal during the 2004 Olympics. Mendoza has been with ESPN since 2014 and has also broadcast the Men and Women's College World Series. She also anchors on ESPN's nightly recap show, Baseball Tonight. Officials of the Atlanta Braves are discussing the safety of the new stadium after a terrible accident at their old one. Longtime season ticket holder Gregory Murray died after falling from the upper deck of Turner Field during a Yankee-Braves game. Officials are reconsidering the height of the guardrails at their new SunTrust Field, the name of their new stadium being built for Atlanta. But this isn't the first time a major league team has made their railings higher after an accident. In 2012, the Texas Rangers raised their guardrails after a woman fell 20 feet trying to catch a ball. The minimum height for the rails at Major League Baseball stadiums is 26 inches. No changes have been announced for Turner Field, but officials say there's a good chance the new park will raise its guardrails. CSUN has more students than any other CSU campus this year. More than 42,000 students are enrolled at CSUN. The school has held a huge event to let students know about the many opportunities on campus. Valley View's news reporter Juanique Elliott tells us more about the event known as Matafest.
Even event organizers like Jonathan Navarro are super enthusiastic about Matafest. Matafest is an event where students can become more engaged with a variety of representatives from its teams and facilities.
It's really awesome. All the people, all the free stuff. There's like a hot dog stand, there's like a license plate maker. You can do anything you want, and there's people to meet. I'm just really excited to be around all the excitement.
This event is held at the start of every year, and its attendance continues to increase.
Whether you're a new student or a returning student, CSUN's Matafest accommodates every Matador.
Thank you.
So Matafest is really here to engage the students and welcome them to CSUN and just let them know what the campus has to offer and really to, promote them to be more involved and really use the resources that they've paid for through their student fees.
Although students closed their tables at 2 p.m., that was not the end of the event. Matafest continued from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. with more food, fun, and games. This half of Matafest focused more on entertaining the students after a long day's work. In Northridge, Juanique Elliott, Valley View News.
Maria Sharapova will not be competing in this year's U.S. Open due to a leg injury. The tennis star went on Facebook to say whether or not she was going to participate. Sharapova says her injury happened during training after Wimbledon. The tennis player has missed several matches due to injuries, but still has not said whether they are related. She has not won a championship since the 2014 French Open. That's all for sports. Now back to you.
Coming up in entertainment, news rapper Kanye West announces he will run for president.
Straight Outta Compton holds the #1 spot at the box office for 3 weeks in a row, and CSUN hosts one of the largest Jack Kirby comic exhibits in the nation.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Now, here's Teresa Barrientos with the latest in entertainment news.
Thank you, Sarah. The mastermind behind the famous slasher films Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream has died at the age of 76. Wes Craven's family says he died in his Los Angeles home after battling brain cancer. The film director had recently signed a television deal with Universal Cable Productions to work on a number of new projects. He was also executive producer of the new Scream series for MTV. MTV says the season finale of the series will pay tribute to Craven. Universal's movie Straight Outta Compton has now topped the box office for 3 weeks in a row. The movie is based on a hip-hop group called NWA that rose to fame in the late 80s and early 90s. Rappers Ice Cube and Eazy-E were part of the group, as well as producer Dr. Dre. The Los Angeles Times reports NWA's success was one of the reasons the movie has been so popular. Rapper Kanye West says he is going to run for president in 2020. West won the Video Vanguard Prize at this year's MTV Video Music Awards. His acceptance speech went on for 11 minutes, way too long for many fans. Taylor Swift presented him with the award and without any problems. That was far better than the 2009 VMAs when West interrupted Swift during her acceptance speech. Taylor Swift's Bad Blood music video took the award for Video of the Year at the VMAs. The competition was tight. Beyoncé, Ed Sheeran, Kendrick Lamar, and Mark Ronson were also nominees. Straight Outta Compton's O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Ice Cube presented her the award.
I'm just happy that in 2015, we live in a world where boys can play princesses and girls can play soldiers.
Swift took home a total of 4 awards. A Legend of Comic Book Art is the new focus of a new exhibit at the CSUN Art Galleries. Jack Kirby died in 1994 after creating dozens of famous superheroes in a career that spanned 6 decades. Valley View News reporter Chris Wilson says the show is bringing out fans both old and young.
Young Dante is a recent comic book fan.
So I try to read at least 2 issues a week.
His father, Dan, grew up with comics as well and has a strong appreciation for the medium's history.
The intensity of Kirby's work pretty much laid the groundwork for everything you would see in comics. Not only was he a creative mastermind in just form and movement and in placement, but in just the creation of our archetypes.
Comic book artist and writer Jack Kirby is the center of a new exhibit at the Cal State Northridge Art Gallery. The show celebrates Kirby's extensive career, stretching from the 1930s all the way until his death in 1994. A New York native, Kirby spent the later years of his life in nearby Thousand Oaks. These days, comic book characters are everywhere, from the big screen to the small screen.
I'm just trying to make my city a better place.
To the very small screen. It's easy to forget that all these characters started as drawings on paper. Show curator and CSUN English professor Charles Hatfield wants to remind people of the origins of so many of these famous figures.
To introduce people to the power of Kirby's art, not just the characters and concepts, the things from the movies, but to actually introduce or reintroduce them to the raw artwork on these boards.
Jack Kirby is the man responsible for creating many of today's biggest superheroes. The Fantastic Four.
We're family.
The X-Men. Captain America. Iron Man. And dozens of others.
The exhibit is here through October 10th. It's open Monday through Saturday from noon until 4 p.m. Fans of comics and art are encouraged to make like the Flash and speed on over. In Northridge, this is Chris Wilson, Valley View News.
That's it for entertainment. Now back to you.
Thank you for watching this edition of Valley View News. I'm Sarah Vong.
And I'm Harry Abelson. Have a great day.